Hey everyone, welcome to the Huddle Wisdom podcast and also the YouTube channel. If you're joining us today, I'm really grateful that you're here. It's great to have you guys come along and have a listen to what we have to offer and to talk about. Basically, my aim is to help you and your loved ones navigate some of life's very complicated issues. In particular, my aim is to disseminate emotional literacy to as many people as we can reach. In this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my tips to help you talk with your kids about really complex sorts of emotions. Um, you know how difficult that is sometimes, especially if your kids don't have the language to describe or articulate how they're feeling. So we're going to jump in and talk about that. So stay tuned. But before I continue, I just wanted to let you know about the free emotional firestorm toolkit, which is kind of like a mini course workshop that you can download for free. So just go to the website www.huddlewisdom.com/get tools, GETTOOLS, get tools. And we'll send that to you. Just drop us your email and we'll send that toolkit over to you. There's also the upcoming courses. The first one I'm working on is called the Practice of Empathic Discipline. And I've been staying up day and night, literally day and night, just recording and tidying up all the copy for that, just so that I can make it perfect enough. Actually, I need to stop myself because there's no such thing as perfect, but if we can get it good enough, that would be great. So I've been trying to get it good enough for you guys. So that's coming. And I'll let you know as soon as that drops. Again, if you want to sign up for the wait list for that, there's a wait list you can join. And I recommend that you do that. I think it's pretty sure it's on the website now. Should be www.huddlewisdom.com. So go and check that out. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about my favorite tip for helping kids who struggle to talk and figure out what their emotions are doing from a day-to-day perspective, and also within the day, and to figure out what kinds of factors make their moods go up, make their moods go down. So let's talk about that. Okay, so I have here just a little whiteboard, which I recommend that you get. I think I got this one from the supermarket, actually. But you can, I mean, you don't have to use a little whiteboard. I like using a whiteboard because you can rub stuff out, and you can kind of draw on them, and you can, it saves paper, but you can use paper as well. So what I like to do with kids or teenagers, so you can imagine a sullen teenager and they're, very quiet, but you get the sense that they want to say stuff, but it's difficult for them to open up for whatever reason. And sometimes having a tool like this just makes it a little bit easier because it's not as in your face, and it gives them a focal point, so they don't have to look at you when they're talking. Sometimes they won't talk, but they might just use, head nods and shrugs, etc., etc. You know what kids can be like. Sometimes it's like extracting blood from stones. All right, so let's start here. Now the video, I think, is reversed, so I'm going to try and write in reverse. This is going to be tricky for me, but let's see if I can do it. Okay, so sometimes if you're faced with a child who isn't giving you any information, so you're saying, Johnny, how are you feeling today? You seem like you're a bit under the weather. I've noticed that you seem a bit glum today. But yesterday you were pretty much yourself. So I'm curious to know what's happened in between yesterday and today. And you get nothing. You get nothing back. Geordie just, sulks, withdraws, right? So this is what you could do. Johnny, check this out. I've got a little diagram here, which I think could help us figure this out. I want to help you figure this out because it mustn't be very nice feeling the way you do. Although it's normal to feel bad sometimes, but I'd like to help you if there's anything I can do. And then he gives you a little nod. Okay, he gives you a little nod, and you go. So you say, "Okay, Johnny, check this out." So this is a little graph, diagram, graph, called a mood graph, and this is your mood here. Okay, smiley face at the top, sad face at the bottom. Okay. So yesterday, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. Yesterday, it looked like your mood was, up here. Today, it's down here. Is that right? Yeah, that's right, Dad. That's right. So I wonder if something happened between yesterday and today to make it travel down here. But before we talk about what might have done that, I want to try and understand what your mood was doing between those 2 points. You might use different sorts of words, okay, to adjust to their age and stage. Was it a straight line like this, Johnny? Was it sort of up and down like this? Or was it more like a crash and then a flat line like that? Now, the reason why you might present different scenarios like this is because depending on the gradient and the way the line wiggles, that gives you clues as to what might be causing the drop from here to here. So for example, if it's a straight line down, there might have been a catastrophic event. What would that be? Could be anything, right? Anything that, and this requires some knowledge of your own child. You need to know what your child's usually like. What kinds of things causes a catastrophic drop in their mood? I don't know. Maybe you took some toys away. Maybe they broke up with their boyfriend. Maybe they hadn't slept last night. It was a catastrophic drop. What causes more of a gradual decline? Maybe they're really hungry, and then over time they just got more and more hungry. Or maybe they're frustrated by something and they were worried about something last night, and then over the course of the day, that problem that they're worried about didn't get solved, and so now they're here. They're worried. So you can go through scenarios like that with Johnny, and then you ask Johnny, "Okay, Johnny, which one is it more like? Is it more like this? Is it more like this? Is it more like that?" And then he'll hopefully point out which squiggly line it is that is the correct one. And once you identify the correct one, you can then have a discussion with Johnny about what factors might have contributed. And then you can ask some questions in a more informed way because you have this information now. Okay, let's talk about another scenario. So let's talk about someone who has had long-standing mood issues, right? and you talk to them and they say, oh, I've always had ups and downs. It's always been like that. Okay, that's not entirely useful. What you want to do is get a little bit more specific. So you've said that you've had ups and downs. Okay. Is it like this, ups and downs, between happy and sad? Or are you sort of traveling more in this range here, happy range, up and down? Or are you traveling more here, up and down? Right? There's all kinds of things you can do to try and figure out the specifics of what's going on. So I'll tell you what I like to think about. So I like to think about amplitude. Let's see if I can write this down. Amplitude, A for amplitude, right? So that gives you a sense of how, the range of emotions that your kids might be experiencing, the amplitude, how high they go, how low they go. Because some kids, the amplitude is kind of just like that, right? Or they might be here, they're just kind of coasting. And some kids are down here, they just coast. Low amplitude waves. And there are different reasons for that. The next thing is you think about range. So, sorry, what am I thinking about? Duration, right? So you might have a duration of a high period for, say, a day, and then you might have a drop a day later. So you can chart these sorts of mood charts quite easily on a whiteboard, because you can kind of keep checking with your kid and rubbing things out and then revising the curve depending on what information they give you. So, sometimes you might have someone who's got very high ups, very low downs, but the duration for a high and a low is very long. So, you might get this sort of curve, right? Sometimes it's very fast. So this gives you a different kind of picture. This sort of curve here, where you get long duration of highs and lows, you might start to speculate about different factors, like, if they're a girl, is it that time of month around here? Don't know. Over here, are they having a good time because they're with friends that they know, and then now it's the holidays and they're not with their friends and it's a bit boring? Is it up and down like this because they've got some concern or anxiety, or maybe they have some mental health issues that you need to sort out? Do they have ADHD? All kinds of things. So again, this is really useful. So you see, you've got an idea of the amplitude, the height of the curve, and duration of duration, length of time for each period. I hope that makes sense. So I find this really helpful for talking with kids about various emotions and trying to figure out, what kinds of things make their mood go up and what makes their mood go down. So if, say, you have a kid who says, yep, this is my curve here, then you can ask them, okay, well, over here, what was happening up here you think that made your mood so good? What was happening down here you think that made your mood so bad? And then you can ask them, is it always like this? Is it always like this? And then you can identify factors that are the culprits for causing low moods. And now you have a problem that you can solve together, right? So this factor here causing my low mood? Well, let's talk about some solutions to address this so we can bring the mood back up here. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you found that useful, my friends. Just to remind you, go to the website www.huddlewisdom.com/get tools to get on the wait list. No, sorry, to get the free emotional storm toolkit. And you can get on the wait list for the practice of empathic discipline course, which is coming, and also the foundations of emotional literacy. I'm sure those will really help you out. I'm really excited about those courses. But if you don't sign up, that's cool too. Just keep listening to the podcast. Check out periodically for YouTube videos, which I'll intermittently send out, because I want to help you out and I want to help you to thrive. I want to help you kids to thrive and do well. Right, so that's it from me, my friends. It's Devin here. I hope that was useful, and I will see you when I see you next.